So interaction of the virus with the host cell. In this the diagram just in front in your screen, we can see the process of the pinocytosis. Just like we studied already, the pinocytosis is a process to engulf the food particles inside the body. So it is just like the cell receptors, the host receptors, which are just taking the viral cell, just like the pinocytosis, just like the food particles, and virus is going inside the body of the host. So we will see some other procedures of the interaction of the viruses with the host cells. First of all, the virus host. When the after the entry of the virus inside the body of the host, it can do a lot of processes, whether it will damage the cells or not. So first of all, maybe the virus will just reside inside the body of the host and it will not damage the cell. It will not damage the host, but it will use the host machinery for its replication. It will use the host for its own processes, but will not going to damage the cells. Or maybe it will damage the cell because it needs the host machinery, so it will also damaging it. It may be the damage may be a little bit damage, maybe not so severe. Damage may be the very severe, and damage may be the leading towards the death of the cell. The cell death may also occur. Maybe some viruses, just like HIV, they are just incorporated in such of the way with the machinery of the host that the host machinery or host cell has to die along with the virus if we need to get rid of that kind of virus. Similarly, on some kind of there are oncogenesis viruses are also there. Non-immunogenic response, just we already studied the phagocytosis. Maybe the non-immunogenesis responses are also there. Maybe the immune response of the body is not proliferated because of the entry of the viruses inside the body of the host. However, sometimes they raise the body temperature because the virus enters inside the body. Then body temperature of the host may also increase. Actually, the body temperature or fever is just the indication of some kind of abnormality inside the body. Fever is himself is not a disease, but it's indication that there is something abnormal is happening inside the body, and therefore the body temperature of the host is increased. Hormones are also increased. Sometimes the hormonal imbalance also occur because of the entry of the host inside the body and malnutrition. The host becomes inappetite; it doesn't want to eat something, so it will also increase the chances of the malnutrition inside the host. These are the some barriers which are there for the, because from the host point of view these are important to limit or evade the entry of the viruses inside the body. Most important of them is skin, which is present in all of the human beings and animals. Skin is very important barrier for the entry of the microorganisms, bacteria, parasites, or the viruses to don't allow the microorganisms or dangerous things to enter inside the body. Then the lack of membrane receptors. The membrane receptors are very important, and when they are the most of the membrane receptors are not there, it is very easy for the virus to enter inside the body. Similarly, the mucus plays very important role, and then the epithelium, there are different parts of epithelium which are also playing their roles to don't let the virus enter inside the body. Low pH virus to really need some special kind of pH, and if that pH does not present for the virus to enter inside the body, then it will be difficult for its entry inside the body. Similarly, the immune mechanism is the most important part, and it is a special kind of events are always happening inside the body of the host, which are always playing their roles for the microorganisms to don't let them come inside the body, or even if they are present inside the body, they will play their role to throw them away. So viral infection can escape the immune system. It depends upon the virus, that how the virus plays. It also depends upon it is also the mutation is important for this kind of this point of view. We will study the mutation later, that how the virus get helps from the mutation to escape from the immune system. Similarly, the virus is very complex kind of structure, and it is very small structure, sometimes in the nanometers. So therefore, it is very easy for it to escape from the immune system, and also it can cause the generalized immunosuppression after entering inside the body. Just like human immune deficiency virus, it will cause really severe changes and immunosuppression inside the body. Formation of inclusion bodies is also very important property of the virus. The virus, after entering inside the body, actually the inclusion bodies are sites of viral multiplication. These may be the proteins, or these are the sites for the multiplication, and these are very important from the diagnostic points of view because most of them are stainable. So after we need to diagnose about the virus, inclusion bodies are already there inside the body. There are specific sites where the virus is going to multiply along with using the machinery of the host. So these are on the with the help of these inclusion bodies, we can diagnose whether the viruses, because these are nuclear or cytoplasmic aggregates are there. So we can diagnose the presence of the virus inside the body with these inclusion bodies. There are some different kinds of inclusion bodies we have shown in the presentation. The slides are there. Adenovirus nuclear inclusion bodies are there, and then the rabies virus cytoplasmic inclusion bodies, which are also called the negri bodies, are these kind of negri bodies, and these can be, we can diagnose, we can take the blood or we can take the organism different specimens, and then we can stain them and we can see whether the inclusion bodies of some specific viruses are present inside the body of the host or not. RSV and rabies virus will include the cytoplasmic inclusion bodies, and similarly, the adenovirus will produce the nuclear inclusion bodies. Pathogenesis: after the entry of the virus inside the body, it may be inapparent, no damage is caused. Apparently, there is no changes are happening inside the body of the host. It will be just inapparent, or it may be the apparent if the large number of the viruses have been entered inside the body and it is causing some damage. So it will become apparent inside the body. Acute, maybe the large number of the viruses, just like some retrovirus has been entered inside the body, then it will be very acute kind of infection can happen, and it will be very apparent from the pathogenic point of view. And subacute, it will be not very apparent, but it will be the viruses will be already entered inside the body, they are replicating, but it will be just subacute. And chronic, very slowly the viruses are just doing their part, playing their part, has been already entered inside the body and multiplying, but it will be very slowly and very chronic. And then latency is also the similar kind. And then entrance of the virus can be happened with different processes to enter inside the body of the host. It may be through the respiratory tract, it may be through the digestive tract, it may be through the skin, it may be through the mouth or conjunctiva, from the eyes, through the eyes and conjunctiva. The viruses can enter inside the body of the host through the sexual contact, and there are some vectors which are very important and playing the role of the intermediate host. The virus can also enter inside the body through the help of the vectors.